Hello guys, it's RetroGamingNow, and I am back with Riven, the sequel to Mist. And in the previous episode, we just finished reading this journal of Ginn's. And now we are in Ginn's sort of workspace, so we can look around and see what we've got going on here. Over here we got some sort of nuts. A pot of water, maybe? This is the ink that he uses to write. More of that. Here, there's some sort of, looks like a globe, or it's like looking at stars. Perhaps this is the star feature he was talking about earlier. And what do we have here? A journal entry that was taken out. Last week, while monitoring the situation of the villagers from the scope in my survey room, I observed that one of the natives swam out to a small object that appeared to be floating, but anchored near the entrance of the bay. I ordered the object removed from the water for inspection. Several days later, however, I was surprised to see another floating there. The missing object had apparently, and quite mysteriously, been replaced with a new one overnight. I've long been aware of the existence of similar artifacts on Villagers Island, but have paid little notice until now. Tomorrow, I shall send surveyors to catalog the others. So it's one of these eyes, and the fact that they're doing it against Ginn's wishes makes us think that perhaps it is the eye, perhaps it's done by the moiety, the rebels. So this eye, Ginn said, showed up on the village, in the water, and he saw it from his survey room. So all the other eyes so far have had some sort of animal or some sort of sound connected to him. And this one, we can't know because he took it away. But we do know what the symbol is, and we can write down that symbol. And maybe be on a lookout and see if we can find where this was and what Ginn saw. But we don't know any animal or any sort of connection right now to it. Alright, let's go to the next area. Alright, so here, looks like there's a trap. This is what he uses to trap them. Whoops. There's a bunch of little things here. Can't quite tell what those are. Some scissors and a needle, and perhaps this is where he processes the frogs. I don't know for sure though. Or maybe he's doing experiments with the water. Got a bunch of drawers. See what's in here, a bunch of eggs. This one's locked. This one's also locked. They're all closed. That's too bad. Okay, anyway. Over here, we've got this water thing. Let's put this button. Oops. I guess we can't hit that button. Oh, there we go. So it's a little heat, and you see when the heat turns on, the water starts to move up away from the heat because of the bacteria he was talking about. So that's very cool. You can see now it's the other way around, and now it falls back down once the heat goes off. And so it is pretty clear here that the water is averted from heat. It's very cool. And I think, as I mentioned earlier when we were reading the journal, we now know how that works. So here we got some pickled frogs. It does seem to be that this is where he does his frog stuff. There's a bunch of jars here. Can't see anything in them. Alright, well, let's keep moving. There's a door there, and we'll go there in a minute. Let's look over here. Some sort of press. And actually, this reminds me, if you think about it, I think we know what this island is for, what that wood is for. He chops up the wood, and he puts it in the boiler to kill the bacteria so it's no longer averted to heat, as he mentions, and then he uses it to make paper with the wood pulp. And what's that paper for? His linking books, of course. There's some paper right there, and that's an example of what this press is for. This, it's hard to tell what it is. Looks like it's just some sort of wood fibers or something. Here, you can see, it's kind of interesting, these, from one of these woods, it's a chunk of the wood. In the middle, it's got a crack that's split into 5. So 5 even shows up in the geometry of the plants. And he's talking about how 5 is a perfect number. Unfortunately, we can't read any of this. If you look over here, this is actually a little Easter egg. There's that question mark there. It's not actually supposed to be a question mark. That's a question mark that happens when they don't know what the texture is. So there's a bad texture here. They didn't texture it, and so the program that they were using just put that question mark there. And so that's kind of funny. It's just one of those little things they missed. Here we got what looks like a stamp or something. There's lots of little trinkets, and unfortunately we can't tell really what all of it's for. And we've already seen that. Real quick, if you look, all these sort of have tusks coming off of them. And what's this in the middle? How do we come in from here? There we go. Looks like a furnace of some sort. We open the furnace. And it's a failed linking book. You can see it's dark. And remember, Ginn talked about burning his books when they didn't work. And so this is a book that clearly didn't work, and so he put it in there, furnace fired up, and burn it up. So Ginn is not great at writing. There's some wood out there, actually. And so that's why you need those huge contraptions to help him out when he was writing the whatever he could. So let's, where have we not been? This door here. Leads us outside. And there's that dome, and we were talking about this powers all the fire marbles where the books are hidden. And come down here. We have a tram station, which we can't go in because there's no tram. Well, if you remember, back up top, by the first door there was a blue tram call button, so we can probably just go up and hit that button and send the tram our way. That button. And there should be a tram waiting for us when we get out. And there we go. And this tram goes out to some other island out there. It's like a plateau or something. We can't see what it is. So let's get in there, and we know what's coming up. We got an awesome ride, and let's see where this takes us. And here we are. Where are we? I don't know. There's a door out there, but we can't reach it because there's this big gap here. This way, we can go up here and climb these ladders. Excuse me, stairs. And what have we here? Well, first of all, much more tusks here. We've seen a bunch of these tusks before. But looks like there's these giant rock formations, and there's something out there. The topology seems to be like there's a it is like a plateau kind of, but there's water up top. Heading on through these, it's very cool. It's very surreal. Like, I really like how this area looks. Got something here. Looks like there's another room, perhaps, or something down underneath there, but we can't get to it and can't see really what's going on. So we can just keep on going through here. Just turn back around and look. It just looks very cool. It's very aesthetic. And up through this sort of crack. Here we've got a bunch of more pools of water with these giant sort of like mineral deposits or something up there. There's something up there. I can't tell what those are, but he's inserted something into those. Through this crack in the wall. And an elevator. Alright, so what have we here? We look down, we got a bunch of these things. Let's just push one of them. And it seems like it releases some sort of water or something into it. What exactly? I don't know. But there's 5 of them. And if you think about it, each of these shapes we've seen before, they're the 5 islands of Riven. And we've been to that. That's Crater, Temple Island, Jungle Island. This is where we are now. We'll go ahead and call it Plateau Island. And then this one, which we don't know what it is. We haven't seen it yet. What's this for, though? We don't know yet. Let's see what we've got over here. Got a couple things. One, let's go right first. It's sort of like another sort of crater kind of plateau. There's this water here and a bunch of these sort of totem-looking things. Can't tell what those for. Oh, there we go. We got our dome out there in the background, so we could try and open it, but we can't see what's going on. We cannot see because it's been bumped by something. But maybe we can go over there and see what if that's a different symbol, because that's something that would be good to know. It looks to me it's definitely different. It's not the line straight up and down, but as it comes across, it kind of appeared that it's just a circle with a line across it. I don't know if you can see that, which is different than what we saw back on Crater Island. So maybe there are all these symbols here, like every island has a different symbol. Fire marble dome. There's something out here, this giant thing there. Let's go to this thing. And we have a room with a bunch of buttons. When we hit the buttons, you can see that it brings up a kind of a map. And you remember back out over there we activated Crater Island, and this here is pretty clearly a crater. So it seems like it's just sort of map. So let's just pick something else, like let's go pick Jungle Island and see what we can see. So if you look out here, what's going on out on these islands here, it's kind of like a rough representation of it. So the water comes up and it makes it kind of what it is, but the really place you'd actually want to use this is back there in that room, because you can get a fine view of what's going on. So let's raise up Jungle Island and just check it out a little bit. And Jungle Island's the biggest, so I'm not going to look at all of them, but I'm just going to take a couple of them. Yep, there's Jungle Island. You can see these edges with very extreme cliffs, and that's sort of what we expected. And so this here, I think, would be where the water is, like because we're kind of in the middle of the island, and so this is where that lake is, and up on the side is where the villagers would have their houses. If we rotate a little bit, we can see this is up here. I think this is where the logging area is. So it's interesting. Yeah, we can see everything about this and all the islands. Now, what we can also do is check out the one island that we haven't been to yet, which is this island. You can see it's smaller than the rest of it. It's pretty shallow down there. Look at it, it's not as tall. So let's drop that back and raise the far one. There's something there. It seems pretty tall. But we can at least get some sort of information, something, anything about that island, because we've seen no information besides the fact that it's small. And that's all there is to it. It almost looks like it's a tree. Do you sort of see that? Where it's like roots or something coming up there. Huh, we can't tell what it is. One thing that's interesting, though, is the way that map works is the islands, all of them have this grid here. And so there's one grid on the island, and we click this, and there's a bunch of other smaller grids. So we can use this to mark out specific locations. So we could say X number, whichever grid on the big island, and then all of the, like whatever other number here. So I could say that there. So, okay, that's interesting. And actually I think I'm going to go into the episode now. It's kind of been a short episode, I'm sorry about that. But we found this survey island, and this... You talked about a surveying guild, and there's all these information. He knows the topography and the landscape of all these islands. What's that for, though? Why does he have this? It's not really that clear right now. But we will find out, hopefully, as soon as we can. So this has been RetroGamingNow, playing Riven. As always, feel free to comment and tell me what you think, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.